You are sitting across from someone who just hurt you. And instead of feeling angry, you are already explaining to yourself why they did it. You are building their case before you have even felt your own pain. You do this every time. Someone cancels on you and you think they must be going through something. Someone speaks to you coldly and you think they probably had a hard day. Someone uses you and you think maybe they didn't realize. And you were right, most of the time. That is the problem, because while you are busy understanding everyone else, nobody is in there understanding you, not even you. There's a version of empathy that protects you. It lets you feel with people without losing yourself inside them. Then there's the version you carry, the version that was built not from choice, but from necessity. You learned to understand people the way other children learned to ride bicycles, out of survival. Somewhere in some room at some age you cannot fully name, understanding became the thing that kept the peace. Maybe a parent whose moods were unpredictable. Maybe a household where your feelings were the disruption. Maybe just the slow accumulation of learning that the safest version of you was the one who never made it about yourself. And so you became extraordinary at it. You can walk into a room and feel its temperature before anyone has spoken. You can hear what people mean underneath what they say. You can hold someone's anger without flinching, their grief without drowning, their chaos without losing your footing. People call this a gift. They are not wrong. But here is what they do not see. Gifts have weight, and you have been carrying this one for a very long time. Psychologists call what happened to you emotional parentification. It is what occurs when a child takes on the emotional labor of the adults around them, when the child becomes the one who reads the room, manages the tension, absorbs the pain, so that everyone else does not have to. The child who experiences this develops something called hypervigilance. Their nervous system rewires itself to constantly scan for other people's emotional states, not as a skill they cultivated, as an alarm system that never turns off. Even now, in rooms that are safe, part of you is watching. Even in relationships that are loving, part of you is waiting for the shift. Because your body learned something early. It learned that other people's emotions were your responsibility. And once a nervous system learns that, it does not easily forget. Here is where it starts costing you in ways you cannot see. You cannot receive. Someone tries to take care of you, and something in you deflects it. You minimize, you redirect, you say, "I'm fine," before they finish asking. Not because you are fine, because being cared for requires you to be the one who needs something. And that role, the one who needs, was never given to you. You cannot access your anger. Someone hurts you, and before the pain has fully landed, your mind is already building their defense. You understand why they did it. You have context for their behavior. You become their attorney before you have allowed yourself to be the victim. And the hurt, with nowhere to go, gets folded inward, and you carry it alongside all the others. You stay too long, in friendships that drain you, in dynamics that are not equal, because you understand why the other person is the way they are. And understanding, for you, has always felt like a reason to stay. The philosopher Simone Weil wrote about a particular kind of suffering she called affliction. Not ordinary pain, but the kind that slowly strips a person of their own identity. What makes it devastating is that it leaves no visible mark. You look fine. You function beautifully. You are the one everyone leans on. Nobody knows there is a cost being paid behind all of that capability. Not even you, most days. Carl Jung said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." For you, that terror has a specific shape. Accepting yourself completely would mean accepting the parts that are not understanding, the part that is exhausted, the part that is angry, the part that sometimes does not want to see the other side, the part that wants to say, "This is not okay," without immediately following it with, "But I understand why you did it." That part exists in you. It has always existed. You just learned very early that it was not safe to let it speak, and so you built understanding like a wall around it, not to hide it from others, to protect everyone else from it. The unlearning does not begin with becoming less empathetic. It begins with turning the empathy inward, just once, asking yourself what you would ask anyone else who came to you with the same pain. What do you need right now? Not what does the situation need, not what does the other person need. What do you need? For most people hearing this, that question lands somewhere strange, because you have answered it for everyone else so many times that you have almost forgotten it can be directed at you. Inner child reparenting is what psychologists call the process of becoming the parent you needed, of sitting with the younger version of yourself, the one who learned to understand everything and receive nothing, and finally asking what was never asked. What is it like to be you? Not to fix it, not to understand it, just to witness it. Because here is the thing about people who are too understanding. They have spent their whole lives witnessing everyone else. Every room they walk into, they see people, really see them, their fears, their defenses, their unspoken needs. They extend extraordinary grace to the people around them, and they have almost never extended that same grace to themselves. That's what this is really about. Not learning to understand less, learning that you were always worthy of the same depth of attention you give so freely to everyone else. You were not born to carry everyone. You learned to, and everything learned can be unlearned. Not quickly, not easily, but completely. You get to be understood, not because you have finally given enough, not because you have earned it, because you were always worth it. This channel exists for exactly this, the psychology nobody talks about, because it's too quiet, too invisible, and too easy to mistake for strength. If something in this reached you, stay. There's more where this came from.